Using the authority Congress granted the Department of Education, we will forgive $10,000 in outstanding federal student loans. In addition, students who come from low-income families, which allowed them to qualify to receive a Pell Grant, will have their debt reduced to $20,000.
They're really gonna make me vote for Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
Hello and welcome to What the F*** Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Wednesday, August 24th, 2022. Welcome to day 582. Joe Biden canceled up to $20,000 in student debt for federal Pell Grant recipients and up to $10,000 for individual borrowers who make under $125,000 per year. Biden also extended the federal student loan payment moratorium for what he called the final time through December 31st. Roughly 43 million borrowers will be affected, and 20 million will have their debt completely canceled. The White House estimates that nearly 90% of relief will go to people earning less than $75,000. The total student loan debt in the United States is nearly $1.75 trillion. Moving on, voters in rural western Michigan defunded their town's only public library over books that have LGBTQ content, accusing the librarians of grooming children and promoting an LGBTQ ideology. The Patmos Library was stripped of 85% of its funding for the next year and is in danger of closing. Meanwhile, in Idaho, a group of conservative Christians went to ban more than 400 books with LGBTQ characters, scenes describing sexual activity, or invocations of the occult from a public library in Bonners Ferry. None of the books, however, are in the library's collection. Meanwhile, roughly 20 million U.S. homes are behind on their utility bills, about 1 in 6. The National Energy Assistance Directors Association said it's the worst ever crisis the group has documented, as the average price that consumers paid for electricity surged 15% in July from a year earlier, the largest 12-month increase since 2006. Since the beginning of the pandemic, electric utility companies have shut off power to more than 3.6 million households, this according to the Center for Biological Diversity. The Directors Association said it expects a tsunami of shutoffs. At the same time, as many as 1 in 6 trees native to the contiguous United States are in danger of going extinct due to climate change. A new study assessing the health of all 881 tree species native to the lower 48 found that extreme weather and prolonged drought make trees vulnerable to invasive insects and pathogens, which are the predominant drivers of extinction risk. Biden's plan to cut U.S. emissions in half by the end of the decade depends on forests, which will offset about 12% of that pollution. Meanwhile, a 2019 report from the UN estimated that 1 million species are in danger of dying out globally. The U.S. has also experienced 5 separate once-a-millennium rain events in the past 5 weeks alone. A 1,000-year rain event has a 0.1 chance of happening in any given year. Since late July, St. Louis experienced its wettest day on record. Kentucky received more than 14 inches of rain over 5 days. Eastern Illinois saw more than 8 inches of rain over a 12-hour period. And Death Valley, the driest place in North America, came 0.01 inches shy of its all-time daily record. Dallas recorded both its wettest day and its wettest hour on record. And finally, California plans to ban the sale of new gasoline-powered cars by the year 2035. The rule will require all new cars that are sold in that state by 2035 to have 0 emissions, up from 12% today. The ban will also require that 35% of all new passenger cars sold by 2026 have no emissions, which would climb to 68% by 2030. For comparison, about 16% of new cars that are sold in California this year have 0 emissions. The national average is 6%. The California Air Resources Board will vote on the measure Thursday. And in the polls, the Associated Press says 71% of Americans say they want to see gun laws made stricter, including about half of Republicans. 59% favor a ban on the sale of AR-15 style rifles or other semi-automatic weapons, and 88% say preventing mass shootings is extremely or very important. 60%, however, also say it's very important to ensure that people can own guns for personal protection.
That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditas.